Well, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How have you been?
We have been fine.
Yeah, how was your vacation?
It was good.
Okay. On your way back to school, did you cross any rivers?
Yes.
Which
Several.
ones? Okay, there are two types of rivers. There are seasonal rivers and permanent rivers. Did you cross any permanent river?
Yes.
Seriously? How did you do it? Did you cross by boats or what?
No. On a bridge.
On a bridge?
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes, even those are seasonal rivers, they happen to have water. Like for example, in our places, we have dry rivers, but when it rains, water flows through the rivers. Now, if one wants to cross to the other side, he or she doesn't have any option because they don't have boats. They are supposed to do what? What means are you supposed to use now that we don't have boats or canoes?
You can swim.
Exactly, one can swim. So our today's lesson will be about swimming. And swimming, do you know how is to swim or what is to swim? What is swimming? Yes?
It's the act of dipping yourself in the water.
Act of dipping oneself in the water.
Yes.
Yeah? Angela?
Propelling oneself through water.
Propelling oneself through water. Good. So, swimming is simply the activity of propelling oneself over the water. That is, on the surface of the water. What my friend here, Catherine, was saying, you cannot dip yourself in the water because if you do so, then you are going to do what? You're going to sink and drown.
Yes.
So, swimming is an activity that is undertaken when one wants to maybe enjoy him or herself. Yeah, maybe you want to cross to the other side of a dam or a river. So to avoid drowning, you have to get the technique of swimming. Now, there are various techniques of swimming. That is styles. Yeah, but today I want us to only talk about a style that is known as freestyle or crawling. This is a basic swimming skill that enables one to move very fast in water. Now, you cannot just wake up one day and decide to go swimming. You have to train yourself or get somebody to train you. And because there are people who have phobia with the water, they need to do what is known as familiarization. You get used to the water.
Yes.
And what is familiarization? Familiarization is getting used to doing something or acquainting oneself with something. And in our case, because you are talking about swimming, then you are acquainting yourself with water. That is, if maybe you are afraid of water, there are people who have water phobia, then you have to do what? First of all, get familiarized with water. And how do you do it? Yeah? How can you do that? Okay, you want to gain confidence with water. Obviously, you do what? You dip yourself into water, but not deep waters.
Yes.
You cannot go to a river, like Tana River, and say you want to familiarize yourself with water there. You need to go to a pool. A pool has stagnant water, and it has a deep end and a shallow end. So for beginners, you need to begin from the shallow end. So there are steps that one should take when you are familiarizing yourself with water. And that includes, number one, walking in water with a friend holding hands. You see, you are a beginner, so you get somebody who knows how to swim, right?
Yes.
You hold hands, then you walk within that shallow end. Then you can hold the wall of the pool because it has walls.
Yes.
Then you dip yourself. Let me demonstrate. Assuming this is a pool, we assume because you are not in a pool.
Yes.
You hold the wall like this, then you dip yourself completely. You immerse your head into the water with your eyes open, so that you get used to getting yourself in water. You know, you're imagining now that you are under the water.
Yes.
Huh? Then the other step is that you should always open your eyes and observe the flow. When you are swimming, you must know where you are going. You cannot just swim blindly because you get yourself maybe into a rock or something. So
Yes.
your eyes must be open. So you have to open your eyes and observe the flow. So while in water, you need to time yourself because you are not used to holding your breath. So you hold your breath for around 5 seconds. Then when you cannot hold anymore, you do what? You lift up. You get out of water. And then you dip yourself again. Maybe for more than, once you dip for 5 seconds, then you get back. After you have relaxed, you get back into the water. Take as long as possible. Are you together? Because you see, when you are swimming, you cannot keep on removing your head from the water.
Yes.
You have to learn how to endure. Sawa?
Yes.
Yes. Then the next thing in swimming is floating. Floating is a technique that enables people or somebody who is swimming to stay afloat or stay on the surface of the water. Because you cannot say that you're swimming and yet you are sinking in the water. So, and by definition, you can say that it means being suspended on the water surface without sinking to the bottom. What will happen if somebody sinks to the bottom? Yes, you drown and you die. So you don't want to do that. So you must be able to learn how to float. Now, the steps for one to learn how to float. Yeah, you should hold the wall of the pool. Obviously, the shallow end, because you have not yet known how to swim. Then you hold the wall of the shallow end and lie flat. We cannot demonstrate that, but you are going to see in the clip. So you just hold wall like this, then you lie flat with your legs. Now you are holding yourself, yourself on the floor.
Yes.
Because you cannot drown. Then you lie flat and straight. Yes. Now you start. When you are lying like that, the water will lift you up. Are you together?
Yes.
So then you have to do something. You need to do something for you to be to remain afloat. You flap the water using your legs alternatively. That means you keep on doing this, your legs. By so doing, you are keeping yourself afloat. Obviously, the front part will not sink because you are holding the wall. So you keep on flapping, and that will enable you to float. When you are tired, because you are a beginner, you have to do what? You step down and rest. So the same exercise should be repeated severally, so that you get used to. And when you feel that now you are comfortable, you're supposed to release the wall. Yeah? You release the wall, you get into the water, and you continue doing what? Flapping the legs. And by so doing, you'll find yourself floating. Then the next thing is the flutter kicks. Flutter kicks, whatever you are saying, what you are saying, when you are saying you flap your legs, or you flap the water with your legs, you are talking about a technique that is known as flutter kicks. So, flutter kicks are also known as alternating kicks. And what are they? It is a technique that enable one to either move into the water, within the water, or remain afloat. Although they contribute only to 10% of movement in water. We are going to see what enables you to move faster. So these kicks, there is a technique. You cannot just a kick like you're kicking football. There is a technique that one should use. For them to be effective enough, it has to start from the hips. Yeah, the alternating legs should not be from the knee, but from the hip. And then your leg should be straight, toes pointing backwards. The next thing is standing in water. Assuming you are swimming and you've gotten tired, You want how to stand. How do you do it? Do you just stand?
No.
No. You must first of all ensure that you are in shallow end. Because if you are tired and you want to stand, you cannot do it in deep waters. Definitely you are going to drown. So there is a way that one should practice standing in water, that is after floating. Now, for it to be effective, assuming you are lying forward like this, you're supposed to raise your head, then you bring your hands down as your legs come to the chest. So there are 3 steps. You lift up your head like this, assuming you are like this. You do this, and then definitely when you do that, your legs will start coming up to your chest. Then you do it simultaneously with the hands. In fact, you're going to land like you are jumping, like that. So you're going to observe or to watch a small clip here that will enable us to understand better what we mean by exercising how to stand in water. So you're going to watch this. So that guy was you see,
Yes.
just a minute. So standing in water is not just done anyhowly. One must use a technique. And you see, we have 2 types of swimming. You can swim what is known as backstroke when you are lying backwards like this. And we also have the forward one when you are lying in front. So this one shows when somebody is lying backwards. You see? Can you see it?
Yes.
So he's lying backwards. For this one is when you can just listen to the instructions. I think you have seen it.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is how one is supposed to stand up while he was swimming. Now, that is when you are in shallow end. What about when you are in deep end? Can you make it? Can you make it to stand? You cannot stand because standing, means you going down to the floor. You stand there and then yet the floor is so deep. Because in the deep end, you cannot be able to do that. So there is a technique that is known as trading. And trading is assuming a standing position while you are in water. And how do you do that? You do it by flapping your hands, pushing water now downwards as you kick the water using your feet. By so doing, you remain in a standing position and you remain afloat. You will not be able to sink. So trading is like standing in water, but now floating, in a floating position. So next is gliding. Gliding is moving in water, making movements while floating in water. And this is made possible by both arm and leg action. So the arms pull water backwards, yeah, like this. You pull water, and you see as you pull water backwards, you are propelling yourself forward. And we said we have the flutter kicks. The flutter kicks are the leg action. The leg action will make you remain floating. Yeah. So both okay, the legs help in both floating and some propelling action. So if you are moving maybe forwards, what will make you move to that direction? Definitely is
The action of the arm.
the action of the arms and the legs.
The legs.
So in a nutshell, what I'm saying is that gliding is a movement in water in a floating position. So, and both leg and arm action should be done concurrently. As you see this small image here, this person is kicking the water. Can you see this?
Yes.
Those legs are kicking the water, while this front arm is pulling. That is known as the catch position. When the hand is extended like that, is known as the catch position. The other leg, the other hand here is doing the pulling. So one hand is moving like this, while the other one is pulling the water. You pull the water, then you move, come to the resting position. This other one pulls the water, and then during all this while the legs are flapping the water, you are doing the flutter kicks, so that you remain afloat. So I want us to watch a small clip here that involves the flutter kicks. Although it is very fast, I hope we'll be able to see them. The file format here might be let us confused, please. This mini technology has issues, and we are going to yeah, let us watch a small clip there, and then you can be able to observe what you have been learning. Yeah. And then I want you to listen. I don't know whether the sound here will be able to hear it.
How to improve your stroke technique for a faster, more efficient swim.
Yes.
At the front of the stroke, gently place your hand into the water, entering with your fingertips first. Your palm should face the bottom of the pool, with your wrists slightly higher than your fingertips and your elbow higher than your wrist.
Okay, now that our projector has
Continue to keep
issues,
your elbow high as your arm
we may
enters
have
the
to
water,
look at
and you start to pull down through the stroke. Press down with your forearm and try to hold as much water as possible. This is known as the catch position. As you hold the water with one hand, your other hand recovers out of the
okay.
water.
Now that we have some hitch, some small
When pulling,
hitch,
point
let
your
us
fingers directly towards the
look at
bottom
it
of the
from
pool
here.
and keep your elbow position high.
So can we be able to identify both the arm and hand action? I mean and leg action.
Yes.
Yes, you see, this is the catch position that I was talking about.
Rather than out to the side as you pull through
Yeah.
the stroke.
Then he pulls, you see, moves, pulls.
Extend
that.
the arm at the back of the stroke, pushing backwards as your hand exits the water. Continue to bend your arm through the stroke, straightening it slightly as it exits the water. As your arm exits the water, bend your elbow, keeping it high towards the ceiling. Lead the recovery with your shoulder to keep your arm relaxed. Then extend your forearm to enter the water at the front of the stroke. Power paddles or finger paddles can be used to help you focus on improving the positioning of your hands as they
The
enter
arm
the water.
paddles are those ones that he is holding, so that there are no gaps between the fingers. Yeah. Yeah, that is it. Now, I want us to review it just for a moment, and you'll be showing me the flutter kicks, arm action, the pull, and the catch. Are you together?
Yes.
Learn how to improve your stroke technique for a faster, more efficient swim.
So, John, will you show us
Front of the stroke, gently
the
place
catch
your hand
position?
into the water.
Just point to us when he's doing the catch.
Your palm should face the bottom of the pool.
Using your
Your
finger,
wrists
just show
slightly
us.
higher than your fingertips,
And
your
we say
elbow
the catch is
higher
one
than your
that
wrist.
one is extending the
Arm.
hand.
This is the catch position.
Exactly.
Continue to keep your
Yes.
elbow high as your arm
Very good.
enters the water.
So what
Then
about the
start to
pool
pull down
position,
through the stroke.
Grace? When the arm is doing what?
Press down
Pushing
with your
water
forearm
backwards.
and try
Pushing
to
water
hold as much
backwards.
water as possible.
Good.
This is known as the catch position. As you hold the water with one hand, your other hand would water as possible. This is
I want us to
and you
look
start
at
to pull down through.
look at that. The hand is extended forward. That is what he has told us, that when the hand is extended like this, we call this one a catch position. And then technology is yeah. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. So what is happening to this other leg hand? What did we call that?
Pull position.
Good. That is known as the pull position. And we have said that is the one that enables us to move forward.
Move forward.
When you push water backwards, then it propels yourself
Forward.
forward. I want us to look for the flutter kicks. I see still this is a
Catch
the
position.
catch position. Yeah, still catch position. Catch position. We are looking for the flutter kicks. Maybe you are going to play it and then
Identify it as it.
yes,
It moves.
the guy moves. PowerPoint is not responding. Good. This one can show us. You see this one?
Yes.
The legs. What are the legs doing?
Yeah.
They are flapping. They are flapping in the water. So that is what you are calling the flutter kicks. And they enable the person to remain
Afloat.
afloat. Exactly. So that is all about today's lesson. I want us to, in the lab, I understand we have internet connection. And if you don't have internet connection, you are going to look for phones. We have seen from my phone, one can be able to access these clips.
Yes.
So we are going to take the address. You know how to search for information in the internet?
Yes.
Yes, good. So you're going to type YouTube in the address bar, just the same way you search other things. You type YouTube, then youtube.com. Then you look for files that are different types of swimming. Yeah?
Yes.
So just type YouTube. It brings an address bar or a place where you can write the address. Then you write swimming styles. It will display different swimming styles. Yeah? And because you have just done the first one, that is the beginner's style, you type front crawl. Right? Front crawl. So today in a nutshell, we talked about definition of swimming. We say that swimming is,
Act of
Act
propelling
of
oneself.
propelling oneself.
hey,
Through.
don't answer in choruses. Yes.
It is
James.
swimming is the act of or the activity of propelling oneself through water by use of limbs,
Good. And the limbs in this case is the hands and
the legs.
the legs. Clap for him. Yes. We also talked about floating, because you cannot be able to float. Or before floating, we also talked about what? Familiarization. Good. And you say familiarization is doing what? Yes, Monica?
Being able to get used
Uh-huh.
in doing something.
Exactly. And in this case, you're talking about getting used to water, because you want to learn how to swim. So you must familiarize yourself with water for you to be able to swim. Now, floating. You also talked about floating. Yes, Grace?
It means being suspended on water surface.
Exactly. Good. Clap for him. Yes. Floating is remaining suspended on the surface of the water as you do the arm and leg action as you move in the water. What else did we talk about? That is flutter kicks, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Jane, flutter kicks are done using done using legs or arms?
Legs.
Good. And what are they for? How do they benefit a swimmer? Yes, Jane?
They help the swimmer in flapping in the water.
Good. And why do you flap in water? Yes?
So that you are able to balance and float.
Exactly. So it enables one to float in water. We also talked about standing in water. When you are swimming, you get tired, maybe you move to the shallow end. You need to stand, isn't it?
Yes.
We also talked about a standing position in deep end. And this standing in deep end is not called standing, just like the normal standing. Instead, it's known as what? Yes?
Trading.
Exactly. It's known as trading. And it is making yourself float in deep end while assuming a standing position. And we said you have to make circles as you push the water down, and your legs kick the water downwards. Then we also talked about gliding. Gliding, we said is doing what? Yes, Jen?
It refers to moving in water.
Exactly. Good. Clap for her. Yes, it is gaining distance in water, making yourself move from one point to another in water. Yes, and that is all about our today's lesson. Next time we are going to do these things practically. We are going to meet in the swimming pool. So ensure that you carry your swimming costume with you,
Yes.
and you come on time. You know what time our next lesson is?
Yes.
Yes.
It will be in the afternoon at 12:40. Is it 12:20? So let us meet that time. Have yourselves a good day.
Same to you.